Welcome to the Power Within, where we don't just speak about dreams, we ignite them. Right now, whether you can see it or not, a battle is raging inside you. Not across the world, not on a screen, but deep within your spirit. Every breath you take, life challenges you, whispering doubts, stacking failures, testing your resilience. And every second you hesitate, it tries to convince you that you are powerless. But here's the truth. No one shouted loud enough when you needed it most. You were born to fight. You were born to rise. You were crafted by the storms you thought would break you. Today, we are not here for empty motivation. Today, we are here to awaken the part of you that refuses to surrender. The part that knows you were not built to bow your head, but to lift it high with fire in your eyes. This is your reminder that the world has not seen the best of you yet. This is your hour, your round, your comeback, and you will not be denied. If these words stir something deep inside you, don't let it fade. Like, share, and subscribe to The Power Within so you never fight your battles alone. Every day, we are here to fuel your spirit and remind you of who you are meant to become. The world is waiting. Now it's time to answer. The greatest battles you will ever face will not happen in a ring, or on a field, or in front of an audience. They will happen in the silent arena of your own mind. Every dream, every ambition, every daring thought that has ever changed the world began first inside someone's mind. And every dream that has been lost, abandoned, or forgotten, it too died first in the mind before it ever had a chance to live. Before life ever lands a punch, your thoughts will. Before anyone doubts you, you will doubt yourself. That's why the first and most important fight you must win is the fight for your mindset. Think about the greatest achievers of our time. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television. J.K. Rowling was rejected by dozens of publishers before Harry Potter became a phenomenon. In each of these stories, life certainly threw obstacles in their path, but the real battle was inside. Would they believe the rejection? Would they agree with the critics? Would they let failure take root in their minds and convince them to quit? The reason they succeeded was not because they avoided doubt, but because they chose to fight it. The inner critic, that small voice whispering that you're not enough, that you're not ready, that you're too late, too broken, too ordinary. That voice is far more dangerous than any critic standing outside of you. You must rise up against it every single day. You must wake up and put on your armor of belief. You must open your eyes and say, today, I fight for my peace. I fight for my vision. I fight for my future. Because if you don't, no one else will. Training your mind is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Think of it like building a mental gym. Every positive action you take is a rep. Every time you replace a negative thought with a stronger, better one, you're sharpening your weapon. Every time you silence the voice that says you can't with action that proves you can, you are building mental muscle. Over time, those small acts of defiance, those small victories over negativity, compound into an unstoppable force. Imagine this. You're preparing for a job interview, and immediately the thoughts creep in. There are so many better candidates. I'm not qualified enough. I'll probably embarrass myself. If you don't catch those thoughts at the gate, they will control you. But if you stop and intentionally choose to feed your mind differently, if you say, I am prepared, I have something unique to offer, I am worthy of this opportunity, you give yourself a fighting chance to show up at your best. Or consider waking up on a Monday morning. Maybe last week was brutal. Maybe you faced setbacks, missed targets, felt overlooked or underestimated. It's easy to let last week define today. But when you get out of bed and declare, today is a new opportunity. Today, I built momentum. Today, I fight. You break the chain of defeat before it even starts. One practical way to begin fighting for your mindset is simple but powerful. Every morning, before you face the world, write down one thing you are proud of about yourself. Maybe it's something small. You kept a promise to yourself yesterday. You showed kindness when you could have shown anger. You finished something you started. These are the seeds of greatness. Acknowledging them feeds the warrior within you and starves the doubt. It reminds you that you are not defined by yesterday's failures or today's fears. You are defined by the fight you choose to show up for. The truth is, mindset is everything. You can have all the talent, all the resources, all the opportunity, but if your mind gives up, none of it will matter. Likewise, you can be broke, underestimated, inexperienced, but if your mind stays strong, you are already halfway to victory. You don't have to control every thought that comes into your head, but you must choose which ones you believe, which ones you water, and which ones you let die. The fight for your mindset is not glamorous. It happens in lonely moments. It happens in the spaces no one else sees. When you're doubting yourself at midnight, when you're facing rejection at work, when you're trying and failing and trying again. But those small, unseen victories will eventually lead to massive, visible triumphs. Your future depends on which thoughts you allow to win today. So fight. Fight for your peace. Fight for your belief. Fight for your future. The war is already happening, and the warrior you are meant to become is forged by how you choose to fight back. After you win the battle for your mind, the next war begins. The fight for your dreams. Because once your mindset is strong, life will test what you truly believe by putting your dreams to trial. Dreams are fragile at first. They are planted as whispers inside your soul, quiet hopes that feel too delicate to expose to the harshness of the world. And yet, they are the very thing that gives your life direction, passion, and meaning. Fighting for your dreams means protecting them when nobody else sees them. It means moving forward when the path is unclear, when the resources are few, and when the support is non-existent. Dreams are easy to talk about, but hard to build. That's why most people let theirs wither and die. Not because they weren't capable, but because they weren't willing to endure the loneliness, the setbacks, the uncertainty that chasing a dream demands. Think about Walt Disney. Before Disneyland ever existed, he was fired from a newspaper job because they said he lacked imagination. He went bankrupt multiple times before ever seeing success. If he had listened to those voices, the world would never have known the magic he created. Or think about Elon Musk, who poured his last dollars into Tesla and SpaceX when everyone predicted failure. Today, those same ventures have reshaped industries. These people fought for their dreams when the world mocked them. They stayed in the fight when there were no guarantees, no applause, no promises, only belief. Fighting for your dream is not about showing off. It's about survival. Your dream is a living thing. It needs nurturing. It needs protection. It needs you to stand guard when fear tries to sneak in and steal it away. You will face nights when quitting feels easier than continuing. You will face mornings when doubt feels heavier than faith. You will face people who will laugh at you, who will tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to settle. But settling is not why you're here. You were born to pursue something only you can bring into this world. And understand this, the dream is not just about the end goal. It's about who you become in the process of chasing it. The late Kobe Bryant once said, "It's not the destination, it's the journey." Every early morning you wake up to work, every hour you pour into something no one else believes in, every failure you recover from, every small step you take forward. They are building the version of you who is strong enough, wise enough, and worthy enough to hold the dream once it becomes reality. There is a temptation to wait for the perfect time, to have more money, more knowledge, more connections. But the truth is, dreams are not achieved in perfect conditions. They are forged in imperfection, uncertainty, and risk. If you wait until you're ready, you'll never move. Dreams are not given to the most prepared. They are claimed by the most courageous. You may not have every answer right now. You may not even see how it's going to work out. But if you have a vision that keeps you awake at night, a fire that refuses to be extinguished, then that is your sign. It's not random, it's your calling, and it's worth every ounce of fight inside you. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can, even if you stumble, even if you move slowly. Every step you take toward your dream is a declaration that you refuse to live a life of regret, that you are building something bigger than comfort, that you are alive, fully and completely, in pursuit of something that matters. Because at the end of the day, the real tragedy is not failure. The real tragedy is never trying. It's looking back years from now and wondering, what if I had just held on a little longer? Don't let that be your story. Fight for your dream, because the fight itself is shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. And as we move forward, we must remember, fighting for dreams is only part of the battle. There will be moments when even dreams aren't enough to silence the pain. Moments when you are tested, not by ambition, but by hardship. And that is where the next chapter of our journey begins. Learning how to fight through pain. Pain is inevitable. It is the price of ambition, the currency of growth, the uninvited companion that appears whenever you decide to live a life that matters. After all the dreams are laid out, after the plans are made, pain arrives, not to stop you, but to shape you. And if you want to reach your highest potential, you must learn not only to endure pain, but to fight through it with everything you have. The truth is, the people we admire most, the ones whose names inspire entire generations, were not spared from suffering. They were sharpened by it. Look at Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, robbed of his freedom, beaten down by injustice, yet he emerged not bitter but stronger, a beacon of forgiveness and leadership for the world. Think about Bethany Hamilton, the professional surfer who lost her arm in a shark attack at 13 years old. She didn't let the pain define her. She got back on her board and competed against the best in the world. Pain could have ended her story. Instead, it gave her story power. Pain will test the sincerity of your dreams. It will ask, do you really want this, or only when it's easy? There will be mornings when your body is tired, your heart is heavy, your spirit feels cracked in two. There will be nights when disappointment burns in your chest and fear whispers that you are foolish for trying. That is when your fight must become fierce. Not because you don't feel the pain, but because you have chosen not to be ruled by it. You cannot avoid pain if you are reaching for something extraordinary. Trying to avoid pain is like trying to climb a mountain but refusing to deal with the altitude. It's part of the process. What matters is what you do with it. Will you let it crush you, or will you let it carve a stronger, deeper version of yourself? One of the most dangerous lies the world tells you is that pain is a sign to quit. But often, pain is proof that you are on the right path. Think about the first time you tried to lift heavy weights. Your muscles ached, your body trembled. But if you had walked away at the first sign of discomfort, you would have missed the transformation. Growth demands pain. Change demands pain. Becoming demands pain. The most dangerous battles are not fought on stages or stadiums, but in the quiet moments when no one else is watching. When you are alone with your thoughts and your wounds, and you have to choose, keep going or give up. When you rise in those moments, you build an unstoppable force within yourself. Every tear, every bruise, every scar is a brick in the foundation of your future greatness. So what do you do when pain comes? You breathe through it. You stay in the fight. You remind yourself that pain is not punishment. It is preparation. You are being refined, not rejected, strengthened, not broken, made into something so much more powerful than the person you were before the storm arrived. And if you can hold on, even when everything inside you screams for relief, you will discover a version of yourself that you never knew existed. A version that doesn't just survive, but soars. A version that doesn't fear challenges, but welcomes them, knowing that every battle leaves you wiser, sharper, more capable. Pain does not get to write your story. You do. Pain is just one chapter. It is not the conclusion. It is the training ground where your character is fortified, your spirit is tested, and your heart learns endurance. There is no shame in struggling. There is only shame in giving up on the life you were meant to build. Every moment you fight through the pain, you are sending a message to the universe that you are not here to live a small life. You are here to live fully, boldly, without apology. Pain does not get to write your story. You do. Pain is just one chapter. It is not the conclusion. It is the training ground where your character is fortified, your spirit is tested, and your heart learns endurance. There is no shame in struggling. There is only shame in giving up on the life you were meant to build. Every moment you fight through the pain, you are sending a message to the universe that you are not here to live a small life. You are here to live fully, boldly, without apology. And just beyond this season of pain lies something greater. The fulfillment of dreams, the discovery of purpose, the building of a legacy. But you cannot reach it if you surrender now. You must fight through the hurt, through the fear, through the exhaustion. Because as we continue forward, we will see that true power is not just fighting through pain. It is about fighting for your identity. To stand tall and declare who you are, no matter what the world tries to tell you. After you have fought through pain, there is yet another battle waiting. Perhaps the most personal, the most sacred, the fight for your identity. Because in a world that constantly tries to define you, label you, and confine you, it takes unimaginable strength to stand tall and say, "This is who I am." From the moment you were born, the world started shaping your story. Parents, teachers, friends, strangers, all casting expectations, judgments, limitations upon you. Some said you were too much, others said you were not enough. Society created boxes and demanded that you fit into them neatly, quietly, but you were never meant to live inside a box. You were meant to break it apart and build something greater. Fighting for your identity means claiming ownership of your story, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the broken. It means refusing to let your failures define you. It means standing in the aftermath of your mistakes and still saying, "I am worthy. I am evolving. I am more than the worst thing I have ever done." Take Maya Angelou, who was silenced for years after a childhood trauma. The world could have labeled her a victim, but she fought for her voice. She fought for her identity. She became not only a poet and a storyteller, but a symbol of resilience and truth for generations. Or consider Steve Jobs, who was fired from the very company he built. Rather than letting that failure erase his identity, he used it to fuel one of the greatest comebacks in business history. Your identity is not something you find. It's something you forge. It's built every time you tell yourself, "No matter what happens to me, I will not lose myself." It's built when you choose to keep your integrity in a world that celebrates shortcuts. It's built when you define success on your own terms instead of chasing someone else's definition. And make no mistake, the fight for your identity will not always be external. It will often be a silent, internal war. It will be fought in moments when you are tempted to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. In moments when chasing approval feels easier than standing alone. In moments when betraying your values might offer a quicker reward. In those moments, your true strength is revealed. You must be willing to disappoint the world if it means staying true to yourself. You must be willing to risk being misunderstood, criticized, even rejected, if it means not betraying who you are becoming. Because the cost of losing yourself is far greater than the cost of losing temporary acceptance. And understand this, your identity is not static. It will evolve. It should evolve. You are allowed to grow beyond the version of yourself that others remember. You are allowed to rewrite your story at any point. You are not obligated to remain who you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. One practical way to fight for your identity is to create a personal creed, a declaration of who you are and who you are committed to becoming. Write it down. Speak it aloud when the world tries to make you forget. Remind yourself that you are not here to live by default, but by design. This fight, the fight for your identity, is about honoring the unique fingerprint that only you can leave on the world. It's about realizing that your worth is not determined by external achievements or validations, but by the truth you carry within you. The world needs the real you, not the watered-down, polished, edited version. The real, raw, honest you. The one who is still learning, still fighting, still rising. Hold fast to that truth. Anchor yourself to it when storms come. Build your life around it, not around trends or applause or approval. Because once you have fought for your mind, your dreams, your pain, and your identity, there is a power that cannot be taken from you. It is a power the world cannot steal, the critics cannot shake, and fear cannot silence. And as we continue forward, we realize that this power must be passed on, not just kept for ourselves, but multiplied for those who are coming after us. It's time to fight not just for who we are, but for the next generation that's waiting for someone to show them the way. Once you have fought for your mind, your dreams, your pain, and your identity, the journey demands something even greater: to fight for those who will come after you. Because greatness is never meant to end with you. It is meant to flow through you into the lives of others. Every battle you win today lights a path for someone else tomorrow. Every wall you break down becomes an open door for those who have yet to arrive. Fighting for the next generation means understanding that your legacy is not the trophies you collect or the titles you earn, but the lives you touch and the courage you inspire. It means realizing that every decision you make echoes far beyond your own lifetime. It means taking responsibility not just for your own future, but for the future of those who are still searching for their way. Think about Rosa Parks, whose quiet but unshakable stand on a Montgomery bus ignited a movement that would change the course of history. Think about Malala Yousafzai, who refused to be silenced after being shot for pursuing education, and who has since become a global advocate for millions of girls fighting for the right to learn. These individuals understood something vital. Their fight was never just about their personal freedom. It was about creating a world where others could stand taller, dream bigger, and live freer. You don't have to change the world overnight. You just have to care enough to leave it better than you found it. Maybe it's the little brother who watches how you handle failure. Maybe it's the young woman at work who's wondering if she can lead. Maybe it's a stranger who sees in your story the permission to believe that they can rise too. The truth is, you are someone's example, whether you realize it or not. Every time you refuse to quit, someone learns perseverance. Every time you rise after a setback, someone learns resilience. Every time you live with integrity in a world full of shortcuts, someone learns the power of character. Your actions today are writing a script that others will either find hope in or despair from. Choose to be the light. Fighting for the next generation means teaching them not to chase comfort, but to seek purpose. It means showing them that real strength isn't about dominating others, but about lifting others up. It means modeling that failure is not the end, it's part of the path. It means handing them not a perfect world, but a living example of courage in an imperfect one. And understand this: fighting for the next generation doesn't mean pretending you have it all figured out. It means being honest about your scars. It means admitting where you struggled, where you fell, and where you found the strength to rise again. The next generation doesn't need perfection. They need authenticity. They need proof that real people can do extraordinary things, even with fear, even with doubt, even with broken beginnings. Mentorship is not just for the few with high titles and big platforms. It happens every day in the ordinary moments. In conversations, in encouragement, in presence. It happens when you choose to believe in someone before they believe in themselves. It happens when you choose to live in a way that whispers, "You can make it too." You may never see the full impact of your fight. You may never meet the ones whose lives were changed because you refused to settle. But rest assured, the seeds you plant with your courage will grow in ways you can't even imagine. So fight with a vision larger than yourself. Fight with a heart big enough to believe that the pain you endure, the dreams you chase, the truth you speak, they matter not just for your story, but for the countless others your life will silently touch. And as we move forward, we realize that fighting for the next generation calls us to think even bigger. It's not just about our battles or our victories. It's about the lasting mark we leave behind, the legacy that speaks long after we're gone. And that's where the final, most enduring battle awaits. Fighting for your legacy. After all the battles, the fight for your mind, your dreams, your pain, your identity, and for the next generation, one final challenge remains: the fight for your legacy. Because no matter who you are, no matter where you start, you will leave something behind. The question is not whether you will leave a legacy. The question is, what kind of legacy will it be? Legacy is not about monuments or headlines. It's not about how many followers you had or how many awards you collected. Legacy is about impact. It's about the invisible footprints you leave on the hearts of others. It's about the quiet influence you have on the lives you touch, the doors you open, the hope you inspire, even long after your voice is no longer heard. Fighting for your legacy means living with the end in mind, making daily choices that reflect the kind of life you want to be remembered for. It means standing for something when it's easier to stand for nothing. It means living with such integrity, such compassion, and such courage that when your name is spoken, it lifts others higher. Consider Harriet Tubman, who risked her life repeatedly to lead slaves to freedom, leaving behind a legacy of bravery that still burns today. Think about Fred Rogers, who used his platform on television not to seek fame, but to teach generations of children about kindness, compassion, and emotional strength. These legacies were not built in moments of applause. They were built quietly, through consistent, selfless action, through a commitment to something greater than personal gain. You don't have to be famous to leave a profound legacy. Every kind word you speak, every injustice you refuse to tolerate, every moment you lift someone who's falling, you are weaving threads into a legacy that will outlive you. The parent who teaches their child resilience, the teacher who believes in the student nobody else notices, the entrepreneur who uses their success to lift up their community. These are the real architects of history. The truth is, fighting for your legacy is a daily discipline. It's deciding today to be the person you hope the world remembers tomorrow. It's working not for applause, but for impact. It's understanding that legacy is not about being remembered by millions. It's about being remembered meaningfully by the few whose lives you changed forever. It also means making peace with the fact that you might never fully see the fruits of your labor. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I may not get there with you," because he understood that the seeds he planted might bloom long after he was gone. Legacy is not about immediate rewards. It's about lasting influence. So live in a way that would make the younger version of yourself proud. Live in a way that the future generations who hear your story feel empowered to dream bigger, fight harder, love deeper. Write a story with your life that says, "I was here and I made it count." Legacy demands patience. It demands sacrifice. It demands vision. It demands that you play the long game when everyone else is chasing quick wins. And it demands that you stay true to the best version of yourself, even when no one is watching, even when no applause comes, even when the results seem far away. Your legacy starts today, not tomorrow, not someday. Every word you speak, every decision you make, every battle you choose to fight, they are all shaping what you will one day leave behind. Fight for something that will outlast you. Fight for something that matters. Because the day will come when your name will no longer be spoken on the lips of the living, but your impact will still echo across generations. And when that day comes, you want the echo of your life to roar with the sound of courage, resilience, love, and purpose. This is your call, your fight, your chance to not just exist, but to leave a mark so powerful that time itself cannot erase it. Fight for your legacy, live full, die empty, and let the world be better because you were brave enough to stand, to believe, and to fight. You have fought for your mind. You have fought for your dreams. You have battled through pain, defended your true identity, lifted the next generation, and laid the foundation for a legacy that will outlast your lifetime. And now you stand here, not just as a survivor, not just as a fighter, but as a living testament to what is possible when you refuse to surrender. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. Every scar has become strength. Every tear has been turned into fuel. Every doubt you crushed, every battle you endured, every step you took in the face of fear, they have carved you into something the world cannot break. This life will not hand you greatness. It demands that you take it. It demands that you rise each day ready to face the invisible battles, ready to silence the doubters, ready to defy the odds. Because nothing worth having will ever come without a fight. And you were born for this fight. Remember, the world does not change because of the ones who stayed comfortable. It changes because of those who dared to stand up, to push forward, to believe when belief seemed impossible. It changes because of warriors like you who chose not to be defined by their fear but by their faith, not by their failure but by their fire. So today, plant your flag in the ground of your own life. Claim your dreams, own your identity, build your legacy with your bare hands if you have to. And when the storms rage and the nights are long and the world tries to make you forget who you are, stand your ground. Stand tall. Stand proud. Because you are more than enough. You are stronger than you know. You are already everything you need to become the force the world has been waiting for. This is your time. This is your fight. This is your legacy. If these words have awakened something inside you, don't let it end here. Like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their power. And subscribe to The Power Within to keep fueling your journey every single day. Together we rise higher. Together we fight stronger. Together we build a life that echoes beyond our time. Now go out there, fight with honor, live with purpose, and leave this world with no doubt that you lived full, that you gave all, that you answered the call of greatness that was placed inside you from the very beginning. The power within is yours. Use it, and never look back.